Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today's video is going to be Circle Up number 3. So as I mentioned in my previous Circle Up video, in these videos I will be giving book reviews for 3 books that I have read for you guys. These can be books that I've read last year, this week, but more than likely, I'm just going to try and give a book for every book that I've read and rated on Goodreads, and sort of now start to pick and choose which books I want to focus and have in my library. Some I didn't really like and I probably won't keep, and others I did like. Some I may want to keep because of the author, some I might not. So this is a good way for me to see those books and actually write and give a decent review for them. Because I'm not really a vlogger. I can't really do a vlog justice, so this is my next best thing. So let's get into it. So the first book we're going to talk about is Destiny of Dragons by T.J. Klune. This is book 2 in the Tales for Verania series. Once upon a time, the wizard's apprentice Samuel Wilds got his happily ever after in the arms of his cornerstone knight commander Ryan Foxhart. Years passed, and while Sam's been captured by 5 or 6 more times since then, things are pretty great. His parents are happy. Gary and Tiggy still eat sass for breakfast. Randall is somehow alive despite being older than the gods. The king rules with a gentle hand. Kevin the dragon is as gross as ever. Morgan sighs a lot. Ryan continues to be dashing and immaculate. And Sam is close to convincing Prince Justin they will be best friends forever. Life is good until it's not. Because Vadoma, the leader of the Gypsy clan and Sam's grandmother, has come to the city of Locks with a dire prophecy written in the Man of Shadows is rising and will consume the world unless Sam faces his destiny and gathers the 5 dragons of Verania at his side. And she brings along her second in command, a man named Ruve, who Vadoma says is Sam's true cornerstone. And this is a book by T.J. Klune. Y'all know I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely. I absolutely love this book, and you guys absolutely know that I did, in fact, give it 5 stars. Yes, absolutely. This book, T.J. Klune is one of my favorite authors of all time, and his Tales for Verania series is no exception. Again, I absolutely love the characters in this book, including some of the new ones who we were introduced to. There is a dragon in this book, very much. Oh, so much. Of course, my main ship is Sam Haverford and Ryan Foxhart. The writing style in this book is very different from T.J. Klune's other works, but honestly, it is one of the best writing styles I've ever read. Very funny with some crude humor, enough to keep you laughing and having fun while reading. Even with the crude and funny humor, the serious moments pack quite a punch. The one thing that I thought this book was laughing in was the plot. Not a whole lot of stuff happened in this book. Our band of characters only traveled to one place. And what I liked about the previous book, which is Lightning Struck Heart by T.J. Klune, was the traveling. The travel helped move the story along in that book. The intrigue in this book is very high, as I do not know how this series is going to end yet, and sometimes with T.J. Klune books, I can start to tell how to story might end, but with this book, I kind of didn't. Now looking back on that statement, that's kind of a little bit false, since I've read more of T.J. Klune's other backlist books since then. His writing style is very similar, and his plots are similar. On reread, and could easily pick out the ending of that. I'm a little intrigued. I'm a little sad that I wrote this, thinking that, like, oh, I really don't know what's going to happen, which, in hindsight, I did. I read this book faster than I did the first one, and I enjoyed every page that I read. Will definitely be continuing, as T.J. Klune is my all-time favorite author. This book series is very underrated and deserves more love. Go check out the first book if you haven't already. Check out this one as well. Since reading this book, I of course have continued and have read books 3 and 4, the short story collection, and book 5. Yeah, I will be continuing. The next book that we are going to talk about is The Fragile Threads of Power by Miss Victoria Schwab. This is book 1 in her Threads of Power series, which is a continuation series set in the same world as A Darker Shade of Magic. I have only read A Darker Shade of Magic, and I still actually gave this book the same rating that I gave that, so it really doesn't matter to me. Once there were 4 worlds nestled like pages in a book, each pulsing with fantastical power and connected by a single city, London, until the magic grew too fast and forced the worlds to seal the doors between them in a desperate gamble to protect their own. The few magicians who could still open the doors grew more rare as time passed on, and now only 3 Antari are known in recent memory. Cale Marish of Red London, Delilah Bard of Grey London, and Helen Vajak of White London. But hardly a glimpse of them have been seen in the last 70 years, and a new Antari named Kosika has appeared in White London, taking the throne in Holland's absence. The young queen is willing to feed her city with blood, including her own, but her growing religious fervor has the potential to drown them instead. And back in Red London, King Rai Marish is threatened by a rising rebellion, one determined to connect the balance of power by raising the throne entirely. Amidst the tapestry of old friends and new enemies, a girl with an unusual magical ability comes into possession of a device that could change the fate of all 4 worlds. Her name is Tess, and she's the only one who can bring them together or unravel it all. So I ended up giving this book 4 stars, which for Victoria Schwab and me, very solid. There are mentions of the Sage of Magic series, which I've really enjoyed in this one, and now since reading this book, I'm intrigued to continue with her Shades of Magic series, and I probably should before I read book 2. If you are going to read this book, don't do what I did and read the Shades of Magic series first. But because I knew that my rating for the Sage of Magic series is probably not going to change unless something really happens, I figured I could pick up this book before I continued, and I still gave it 5 stars. Only real beef with this book is for a Schwab book, it's really long. This book is 648 pages. It doesn't look like that from this thing, but if you look at it, the writing is really, really small, and yeah, it's 600 pages. My only real beef with it was, this is quite a long Schwab book. I think this may be the longest book that I've read from her. It would have been great if this book was about 400 pages like the most of her others. It dragged quite a bit in some spots, however, because there were multiple POVs in this book that changed, that really helped. I will be continuing, but I will probably finish the Sage of Magic series before I do so. But a 4-star book from V.E. Schwab? Yes, please. In my opinion, V.E. Schwab is a 5-star author for me, which is really good. And because I've given enough of her other books 5 stars, she is an auto-buy author, and all of her books will stay on my bookshelf. And then the 3rd book that I have for you guys to talk about is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So this is book 2 in the Illuminate files. So, the synopsis is, moving to a space station at the edge of the galaxy was always going to be the death of Hannah's social life. Nobody said it might actually get her killed. Hannah is the station's captain's pampered daughter. Nick, the reluctant member of a notorious crime family. But while the pair are struggling with the realities of life aboard the galaxy's most worrying space station, little do they know that Katie Grant and the Hypatia are headed right towards Heimdall, carrying news of the Krenz invasion. When an elite biotech strike team invades the station, Hannah and Nick are thrown together to defend their home. But alien predators are picking off the station residents one by one, and a malfunction in the station's wormhole means the space-time continuum might be ripped into before dinner. Soon, Hannah and Nick aren't just fighting for their own survival. The fate of everyone on the Hypatia and possibly the known universe is in their hands. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars, which means that this book has the potential to become a 5 stars in the future if I do a reread of it. And I think it might do so if I reread the entire Illuminae Files trilogy with the audiobooks. Because I have heard that the audiobooks for this trilogy is chef's kiss. Because they're full cast and with sound effects. And because this book is told in mixed media format, full cast and graphic with the sound probably means it's going to be a really great audiobook. Out of the 3 books that are in this trilogy, I think the relationship between Hannah and Nick is my favorite. I love me a bad boy. Very true. The atmosphere, writing, and plot are pretty much on par with the rest of the Illuminae Files. High intrigue for what's going to happen, especially since the pages are... There are some really dark pages. There are some really light pages, which kind of help with the intrigue. Towards the second half of this book, it went down the thriller aspect with the alien predators, which I absolutely really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed my time reading this book. Very fast-paced because of the mixed media format. While this book is long, 659 pages, it doesn't feel long when you are reading it, and you almost want it to be longer when you really get into it and get really invested. That is going to be it for this video. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you guys have similar thoughts and feelings to me on this book. Don't forget to subscribe for more bookish content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, we are the one within the all, and I will see you guys with whatever comes next.